Hey beautiful YouTubers, it's Tess, and I actually have no idea what I'm going to talk about right now. All I know is that I'm going to be vlogging and just kind of giving you guys an update of what has been going on with me. I'm sitting here at my piano. I don't know why I felt like playing that. That's the intro to Some Things Are Meant to Be from Little Women. I won't be playing piano and singing, even though that's not what I normally do when I'm sitting here. I just kind of wanted to tell you guys what's going on, why I haven't been reborning as much. First of all, for those of you that don't know, I have ADD, anxiety, and depression. I'm on medications for it. I'm on Vyvanse, Lexapro, and Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin and Lexapro for depression. Vyvanse is for anxiety. And I used to take them consistently, but now it's kind of something, I take them a little later in the day because I don't get up till late, and they aren't as necessary for me anymore now that I'm not in school. I remember in school they were like, I needed them. Not like an addict way, but I couldn't focus in school. I couldn't do anything. But since I'm not really doing anything that I need that extreme focus for right now, I don't really have the necessity for my meds. So I at least try to take my depression meds, but it's the anxiety meds that have some really annoying side effects. But lately, it's probably been months now, I've noticed that reborning, I think reborning has contributed to it, but I also think it's spring allergies. I've had this constant cough, and it's kind of made me not want to reborn, even though I know that's not the sole cause of it, because I did stop reborning for a couple weeks and I still have the cough. Or not a couple weeks, I've never stopped reborning for more than like 2 weeks. But so yeah, I've just kind of been staying out of my studio. I've been really into my fan fiction lately. You guys have probably seen it on Instagram. I've been posting more of look at my pretty cursive handwriting. I'm writing another chapter for the 2 of you that care. It's been super, super, super therapeutic for me, and I've always been a total fame whore. I'm sorry, I'm not censoring myself here. I'm just being really real with you guys. You know, I did theater in high school, and I've been writing since I could remember, and I always wanted to read people my stories, and I loved their reactions and, you know, their feedback, whether it was good or bad. I'm a fame whore. I love it when people appreciate, you know, things that I wrote, you know, myself, or things that I made with my own hands, or, you know, performances that I worked so hard on. You know, especially playing Lisa and David and Lisa, which is the reason my nursery is called Pearl of a Girl Nursery. Pearl of a Girl is a reference to that play, David and Lisa, when I played Lisa. And because that play meant so much to me, that was one of the most therapeutic roles that I've ever gotten, and definitely my favorite role to date. But where's I going with this? Yeah, I really love that you guys appreciate my reborning. I love that I've made so many people happy with it, and I will definitely be continuing with it. But the, you know, the original passion for it is not really there anymore. It's a job that I do not mind having at all. I love doing it in my spare time, but it's not something that I'm going to be doing as frequently. I used to be really prolific, making like 2 dolls a week. But that's just not going to happen anymore. I'm starting up college again this summer. I'm going to be taking 2 classes online. I really don't want to, but, you know, it's one of those things where I technically have to. There's no possible way I can move out, and with my parents is either, you know, move out or continue college. And I feel really fortunate that my parents are able to afford college, but at the same time, I'm scared. I'm really scared. Wasn't expecting to cry. Because my first year of college, I couldn't do it with my depression and my anxiety. And one of my biggest fears is going crazy. And I don't know how I'll be able to handle it, especially without my friends there. My friends were a huge help in college, even though it did get to the point where, you know, I had to medically withdraw from the 2nd semester. But I just think, you know, not so much taking the summer classes, but when I have to go back to school for full time. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, and I wish I was. I wish I could appreciate, you know, that my parents have that money for me to go to college and that I need to do it this year. But all I can think about is how scared I am. And I've tried to tell, like, they know all this. Logically, I know I should be going back. But at the same time, I do feel like I should be going to college. I do want to go to college. I just don't feel like now's the time for me. I mean, these are all selfish reasons, but that doesn't make them any less, you know, legit. They're real. And it's just, it feels wrong. I mean, they wouldn't let me go. I wanted to go back to school so bad after they told me I couldn't. This past summer, they told me they didn't want me going back. They wanted me to take a year off, and I was devastated. But, you know, it turned out to be a great thing because that is what got me into Reborning so much. If I went back to school, I would not have time to Reborn. I would not be where I am now with, you know, 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 followers on Instagram, and over 70 dolls all over the world. And that's amazing. Like, you have no idea how much I appreciate that, and every single person who bought one, and I just can't believe I've made that much of a difference. And I love it. And part of me is like, well, that decision was a good one. It turned out good. Maybe this one will be too. But I'm still scared. I don't know what I'll do if I don't have time to do things like Reborning. I don't want to go back to that dark place that I was in before. I haven't, just so you know, I've never been suicidal or anything. You don't need to worry about that. I haven't cut myself since I was really young, probably well, maybe a little older than that, sophomore year. So it's been a good 3-4 years, and I've realized that that's not something I do. It's become more of, you know, I just disappear from the world. I remember that semester that I couldn't handle, it wasn't even like, I didn't necessarily feel depressed, and that's why I didn't recognize it. I was sleeping a lot, and it's like all the classic signs of depression, but the ones you don't really think of. When you think of depression, you think, you know, I'm just constantly sad, but I mean, I was just sleeping a lot. I had no like initiative to go to class and things like that. I wanted a way out. I wanted to just do absolutely nothing. And it sounds like laziness, but it was really just this lack of initiative to live. I mean, I didn't want to die or anything, but it's hard to explain unless you've been there. But, I mean, I found a lot of things that comfort me over the years. And I think that's kind of helped. Even when I was younger, I remember, I've always been a really emotional person. And even when I was younger, I would write stories and things like that. And they used to be really dark. They were always really dark, even though I had a completely sheltered, happy life up until I was 11. And and then some of you know what happened around middle school. But yeah, I mean, but nothing at home. Like, my upbringing was just picture perfect, sheltered Christian school child, you know, without a care in the world. And then my ADD nobody even noticed it because I was naturally really, I mean, I'm a smart person. You know, I'm a college dropout, but I was a straight A student in high school. You know, college is a completely different world. And it's different being on your own and facing more adult emotions. Yeah, it has nothing to do with intelligence. You know, sometimes people just aren't cut out for college, even if you're a straight A student. Debbie from Tiny Tots, or not Debbie, Jen from Tiny Tots, the other lady from Tiny Tots Treasures, that like one of her kids her brother was valedictorian and he wasn't up for college. But yeah, when I was younger, I used to write all the time. I started writing stories when I was like 8. And I remember they were always really dark, and I never really knew why until I was older. I think it was, you know, all these dark thoughts that I would think of, and I didn't really express them. You know, early signs of depression, I guess. Who knows? And then I found acting, and that was a way to escape everything, just to become someone else, not in a healthy way. Still acknowledging yourself. The magic of acting is you find at least one similarity of the character, and, you know, for those 2 hours on stage or whatever, they become you, and you become them. And you just kind of integrate. And Lisa was especially therapeutic because she had multiple personalities, one of which was a child, and it was like 6 or something, and she only spoke in rhymes, and then the older one didn't even talk, and she was 16. And that was just, and it was a love story, and it was so great because it was 2 different roles for me, and I felt like it was 2 parts of myself. Muriel kind of represented that dark place that I would sometimes find myself in, and Lisa, who's the younger version, represented this eternal child that I sometimes feel like I have. Because, you know, I had my childhood, and then I had around middle school, I don't remember much, and then afterwards it was just kind of dark, and there was nothing really in the middle. I kind of grew up fast, I guess. But this fan fiction has really helped me with that, because as campy as it was at the start, just a dream that I was Luke and Leia's long lost sister, because Bail Organa wanted to create a decoy for Leia. I was that decoy. But it became, I realized later after writing it that it actually was like so my life in this weird way. Really, like, even find details like when Tess, the fan fiction Tess, when her life changes, she's 11. That's when my life changed. I did not do that intentionally. I didn't even notice it till years later. And then it jumps forward because, okay, between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, there's 3 years. So we go from, we have the A New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back, and ages 11 to 14, that's when what was going on that year started and ended. And I was just like, what? I looked back at this like a month ago, and I was like, I did not do that intentionally. That is crazy. And Tess also, she's Force sensitive, and Leia doesn't like the Force because Leia relates the Force to Darth Vader, and she hates Darth Vader. And it kind of reminds me of how me and my mom have different religious views. Leia's kind of a mother figure to Tess, even though she's her younger sister. I mean, no, Tess is the younger sister. And so yeah, that reflects my relationship with my mother. And Tessa has these issues with Force lightning, where like this Force lightning spurts out of her hands when she gets really angry, and sometimes it burns her hands, and that reflects my issues with self-harm. And all of this happened without me realizing it. Right now I'm consciously writing to reflect my own experiences, but before I wasn't, and now I'm reading it and I'm just like, that's crazy. So that's helped, and playing piano, listening to musicals has helped, and I'm totally obsessed with Twisted the musical now, hanging out with friends. But you know, I got some scary things coming up, and I just wanted to let you guys in on that, because sometimes I forget that I need to talk about it, and even if it's to you guys, because I know I don't have anybody that watches these videos that knows me, and it's not like, even if my parents were to see this, that's not anything they haven't heard. I'm very upfront with my parents about all of this. It just kind of became, you know, I would express my feelings about it, but they're like, you know, it's just not an option anymore. Not going back to college. And logically, everything makes sense. But can't help how I feel emotionally. Maybe when I get back into it, I'll do better. I like the consistency of, you know, working and being in school, and I always loved being in class and things like that. But it's scary not knowing what your exact triggers are, what's going to happen, you know, what you could become with certain things that come up. It's just the unknown that's scary, I guess, and that's true for everybody, but especially for people with depression, because you know, it's not just sadness. There's a lot of, I mean, for me specifically, there's a lot of highs and lows. And there's this song called I Miss the Mountains from Next to Normal, if you've ever seen it, and it's totally so true. Sometimes, you know, when I'm on my meds, I'm very focused, but I'm also, you know, on the emotional scale, I probably go from, like, you know, within a span of a day, I can go anywhere from like a 2 to like a 10, and when I'm on my meds, I'll stay in between like 4 and 6. And though you might not want the lows so much anymore, the highs are pretty fun. Like, just today, I was just, of course I don't mean like, you know, high. I just mean getting super excited about your show tunes that you're into and making your friends laugh just because I'm so freaking depressed that Charizard and Jafar didn't get to live together, raise their child. You'd get this if you've seen Twisted, okay, man. It's not cool what they do to your emotions. But I'm so glad I have you guys to talk to. And I love doing this, pretending people care. I don't know what I'm doing here. But other people with depression and ADD, just know you're not alone. I really had no plans for this video other than, like, you know, updating you guys, and I just felt like I needed to talk. And I love these one-sided conversations where I don't have to hear anybody's opinion, where I just get to listen to myself speak. My mom said I should have been a lawyer because I'd like to hear myself talk. Probably not. Way too much school. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate that you're here. I will try to make a more organized vlog. I'm going to try to do more of these, just little Pearl of a Girl vlogs. So, I love you guys. Bye.